What's good, everybody, man? What's going on? It's your boy Vlogging with Greg, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. Back in this thing once again, y'all. See what we got going on here, man. It's 10 most bizarre hospital mistakes, man. This don't sound good at all, man. It don't sound good. So, we gonna definitely check this one out, man. But if you not subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead on and hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on all the way. Every time your boy done drop another video, man. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you want to see me react to. We will get to it. Don't forget to smash that like button, man. So, we gonna jump straight into this one here. The 10 most bizarre hospital mistakes. Oh, that mercy. Had you kind of nervous there, man. Let's get it.
Number 10. 23-year-old Rejane Moirera Telles was just 3 days into her job at a medical clinic in Rio de Janeiro in 2012 when she made a career-ruining mistake. While caring for an 80-year-old patient, the rookie nurse accidentally injected a mixture of milk and coffee into the woman's IV instead of her feeding tube. The substances went straight to Pomerina Pires Ribeiro's heart and lungs, and she died just hours later. Nutritional specialist Dr. Armando Carrier told Brazilian TV Globo Fantástico show that Ribeiro would have felt like she was suffocating. Telles was among 4 members who were indicted for involuntary manslaughter, including 2 nurses and a nursing student.
Wow.
She went on Brazilian national TV, claiming in an interview that she had never been trained in the procedure that she made the fatal mistake on. She also said that she was aware of the risks that come with administering an IV feed, but that Miss Ribeiro's blood and feed drips were right next to each other. Anyone can get mixed up, Telles said in her own defense, and some might even argue that having to live with knowing her mistake cost someone their life might be enough punishment for the young nurse. But unfortunately for her, the authorities felt that it was necessary to make her answer to the law. Number 9.
Dude, how do you mix that? What is that even for? What is that mixture for? To inject? How you make that into an injection? And you got it mixed up. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that, man. Yeah, go ahead on, but lose her in the system. Like, don't forget about it.
Authorities felt that it was necessary to make her answer to the law.
Wow, bro.
Number 9. Injected with embalming drugs. Ekaterina Fedyeva expected to go home alive and well when she went to the hospital for surgery in Ulyanovsk, Russia, back in 2018. But things took a horrifying turn at the hands of the medical team. While she was on the operating table, an employee somehow accidentally injected Ekaterina with formaldehyde, a chemical that is used for preserving dead bodies, instead of a simple saline drip, like she was supposed to receive. After the surgery...
Are they in a rush? Like, how are you just accidentally grabbing the wrong stuff? I mean, man, bro, this make you think people just doing this on purpose.
Simple saline drip, like she was supposed to receive. After the surgery, when the woman came around from the anesthesia, her mother and husband noticed that she was cold and convulsing. They claimed that no doctors came to check on Ekaterina, and she began vomiting and suffering from severe stomach pain. Her mother, Galina Barishnikova, said that she put socks, a robe, and a blanket on her daughter, but she continued to shake uncontrollably. Barishnikova and Ekaterina's husband, Igor, had no idea what was causing the alarming symptoms. Doctors reassured the concerned pair that everything was fine and to go home and stop worrying. Meanwhile, Ekaterina's condition deteriorated overnight as she wound up in the intensive care unit. She went into a coma, and medical staff offered the family a vague explanation, saying that a medical mistake had taken place and that Ekaterina's heart, lungs, and liver had stopped working. 52 different drugs were used to try save the young woman's life.
Wait, how many? Yep.
52 different drugs were used to try save the young woman's life.
52 drugs, man. 52 different types of drugs trying to save him. Trying to save him, bro. Man, bro. Yep. Already. We just on number 9. We just on the second one, bro. And I don't even know. Hospitals, out. I'll deal with it myself.
52 different drugs were used to try save the young woman's life, and she was flown to a top hospital in Moscow to see if the country's best doctors could do anything to help. But their efforts were futile. Ekaterina died under the care of people we are taught to trust more or less unconditionally with our lives.
Right.
Doctors. Shortly after the tragedy, the press reported that an investigation into what Baryshnikova called pure murder was underway. Number 8.
Bruh.
Wrapped like a mummy. Early last year, a young man named Mirin Fabregas was in a car accident in the Philippines. He was rushed to the hospital and admitted to the COVID-19 ward despite his injuries from the crash. Fabregas was put on life support, but it was too late to save his life, and at some point, the plug was pulled. His family accused the hospital of disconnecting the life support before he died. The hospital, on the other hand, denied any wrongdoing and claimed that they waited until after Fabregas passed away to unplug the machine. They also explained that they admitted him to the COVID-19 ward as a precaution. Fabregas' family also accused the hospital of wrapping the young man's body.
So, he have an accident, but they sent him COVID-19. Bro, really? Really? That's what you sent him?
They also explained that they admitted him to the COVID-19 ward as a precaution. Fabregas' family also accused the hospital of wrapping the young man's body in packaging tape, like a mummy. But this was reportedly standard procedure for handling the bodies of patients who were suspected of having COVID-19.
What the hell?
Dr. Napoleon Obana told the local media that there was a local upsurge in coronavirus cases, and protocols dictated that Fabregas' remains had to be wrapped the way it was to prevent the virus from spreading. It's unknown whether authorities investigated the matter. Number 7.
A car accident, dude. A car accident. And that's the best thing y'all come up with. We gotta hurry up and wrap his body because of this. Man, too much going on, man.
Whether authorities investigated the matter.
Whew.
Number 7. Patient receives the wrong surgery. 53-year-old Regina Turner was admitted to a Missouri hospital in 2013 for a procedure called a left-sided craniotomy bypass. The operation was supposed to prevent her from continuing to have strokes after a series of mini-strokes left her with difficulty talking. Turner went into surgery in pretty good shape. She was coherent and able to take care of herself, but she received a right bypass instead of a left bypass, and it damaged her nervous system. Her life deteriorated after that, leaving her in need of round-the-clock care. A lawsuit alleged that the operation left Turner disfigured and struggling with ongoing emotional distress, anxiety, and depression. Doctors performed the correct procedure after they realized their mistake, but the damage was done. Turner remained in poor condition, and her family's lawyer accused the hospital staff of not taking the correct steps to prepare for the surgery, which would have likely prevented the life-ruining mistake. What would your family do if something like this happened to you? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. Number 6. Death.
Bruh. I mean, are these people that's just beginning, like, straight out of school? Like, you got to explain this better to me. Like, there is no reason for this. This better not be no veteran doctors and nurses doing this, man. There can't be, bro. There's got to be people that just coming straight out of school and nervous as hell. Like, even then, it still ain't no excuse, bro. Because if it's classified as one of those, you're supposed to know what you're supposed to know what you're doing.
It's below. And don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. Number 6. Death by hospital infection. The family of a 9-year-old Colorado girl named Alyssa Hemmelgarn received devastating news in 2007 when the little girl was diagnosed with leukemia. She hadn't been feeling well in quite some time, suffering from swollen glands and cold sores that wouldn't go away. Her family doctor sent her to the hospital, where her loved ones learned just how serious the suffering was. Alyssa's condition seemed to be improving after a week of treatment. She got up and walked around the hospital and watched a movie with her mother, Carol. But her symptoms soon began to worsen again, and this time, doctors were unable to save her, despite their best efforts. The most surprising aspect of the tragedy is that it wasn't a leukemia that killed Alyssa. She died from a hospital-acquired infection called Clostridium difficile. It's a bacteria that infects the large intestine. The infection had worsened with each day Alyssa suffered from it, yet it had gone undetected by hospital staff. The doctor had noted that the girl was anxious and gave her Ativan to calm her down. The sedative may have masked Alyssa's symptoms, but there may have been another reason why she didn't receive the treatment she needed. IV drugs to treat infections like the one she had are extremely expensive and are known to cost upwards of $50,000 for a single treatment. Doctors tend not to use them unless it's an established fact that they are absolutely necessary. Alyssa's death was tragic, but not in vain. It inspired statewide reforms in medical treatment at hospitals in an effort to prevent conditions like hers from being overlooked and untreated again in the future.
They worrying about money. They ain't worrying about your life. Nah, they ain't worrying about that. We're going to make sure that you get all the way down to the last. That's the last option. The last option, bro. That's sad, bro. That is sad. Money is more important than saving a person's life. That's sad.
5. When the wrong drug is a deadly one. While undergoing dialysis in 2010 for kidney disease, 79-year-old Richard Smith began to feel short of breath. He was admitted to the intensive care unit of a Florida hospital, where he complained of having a stomach ache. The following day, a nurse came by to give Smith an antacid, but he instead received a paralytic drug called pancuronium. In small doses, the muscle relaxer is used for intubation. In large doses, it's used for lethal injections. Not surprisingly, the drug put Smith into respiratory arrest and rendered him unresponsive. As diabolical as the mix-up may seem, it was truly an accident. The packaging for both the antacid and the paralytic looked similar enough for someone to get them tragically confused with one another. By the time the doctors resuscitated Smith, he was brain dead and in a vegetative state.
So wait, they going off of the way something looked? Like the way the bottle looked? Read. Bruh, read, man. You got to read this stuff, man. You don't just go off of the way the bottle look.
The packaging for both the antacid and the paralytic looked similar enough for someone to get them tragically confused with one another.
Jesus.
By the time the doctors resuscitated Smith, he was brain dead and in a vegetative state. He died a month later. The Smiths' family lawyer, Andrew Yaffa, described the ordeal as the worst case of medical neglect he had ever seen. He pointed out that even if the packaging of the two drugs looked similar, the nurse who administered the paralytic must have failed to follow numerous protocols, to the point of not even closely checking to make sure he or she was handling the right product. Yaffa also accused the hospital of showing no remorse for the mistake and failing to discipline the nurse who was responsible for it. But the facility at least removed the drug from all of its nurses' stations, which I suppose is better than doing nothing. 4. Mistaken identity at a mental hospital.
Bruh.
What happened to Joshua Spreisterback one day in 2017 was bizarre beyond what anyone could possibly imagine, and possibly more awful than many people's worst nightmare. The man had fallen asleep on the sidewalk outside a Honolulu homeless shelter while waiting for a free meal. A police officer came by and mistook him for someone else named Thomas Castleberry, who was wanted for a probation violation relating to some drug charges back from 2006. It wasn't the first time police had mistaken Spreisterback for Castleberry. It was actually the third. But they didn't want to hear it when he tried saying that they had the wrong man. He ended up in a mental hospital under Castleberry's name, where he languished for more than 2 years, despite his repeated attempts to convince the authorities and staff that they had mistaken.
Nah. No, that is no way, bro. Like, mistaken identities, bro, from a cop? No, man. Because first of all, They're supposed to get your fingerprint. And that's supposed to tell them who you are. That's how they get the information off of you, bro. There is no way. There's no way you just grab this man off the street and just send him off to the crazy house or mental home. Bro, there's no way. There's no way, bro. It ain't no way you can make me believe that, man. Just because that's y'all third time mistaking that and you just gonna go off of the way he look. No, bro. You gotta have true identity of this man.
Dill Hospital under Castleberry's name, where he languished for more than 2 years, despite his repeated attempts to convince the authorities and staff that they had mistaken his identity. Instead of listening to him, doctors wrote the man off as delusional.
Wow.
They medicated him into a catatonic state, even obtaining a court order so that they could administer drugs against his will, perhaps because it made him less resistant to being in a place where he didn't belong. Even Spreisterbach's lawyers didn't believe him, leaving him trapped in a place where he was forcefully medicated and practically defenseless against a system that was failing him miserably.
Wow.
Finally, in 2020, the people who controlled the man's life realized their mistake. They cut him loose from the psychiatric hospital, but offered little else in the way of making things right. Spreisterbach moved in with his sister in Connecticut because many of his records in Hawaii still identify him as Thomas Castleberry, meaning he could wind up in another bad situation involving a mistaken identity.
Wow.
He's suing the state for the suffering he endured and to get any criminal records identifying him as Castleberry removed. Number 3.
You just gonna leave a man like that, huh? They just gonna do it like that, bro. Bro, this system is so messed up, bro. This system ain't. Yeah, this is not it. But it's sad.
Any criminal records identifying him as Castleberry removed. Number 3. Wrong side of the brain. Sometimes surgeons amputate the right leg when they're supposed to take the left. Others operate on the wrong side of the brain.
Oof.
In 2007, the Rhode Island Hospital came under fire for making this exact mistake 3 times in 1 year. Each of the 3 faulty operations were performed by a different doctor. 2 of the patients survived and were fine, but 1 patient died a few weeks after the botched procedure, prompting the state's health department to investigate the ongoing issue. The agency fined the hospital $50,000 and imposed some new restrictions. Meanwhile, the hospital issued a statement saying that it was reevaluating its training and policies, improving its oversight, and taking other steps to prevent history from repeating itself a 4th time. Health Department Director David R. Gifford acknowledged that the hospital had made some changes, but it wasn't enough. After the tragedy, an attending physician was required to be present throughout all intracranial neurosurgery procedures. Number 2.
There's no 3 times. 3 times, dude. Bro, what is going on in these hospitals, bro? Jeez. I don't have to go to that and deal with this situation, man. Leave me like I am. Don't touch me.
Throughout all intracranial neurosurgery procedures. Number 2. Man has wrong leg amputated. An 82-year-old man from Austria needlessly lost both legs last year when a hospital mix-up led to surgeons amputating the wrong leg. He was due to have his left leg removed above the knee, but an employee put preoperative marks on the man's right leg, and the operating team proceeded accordingly. The Friedstadt Clinic, which was responsible for the extremely unfortunate mishap, chalked the mistake up to human error. Workers at the facility near the Czech border only realized the man lost his wrong leg when they went to change his wound dressing after the procedure. He had numerous medical conditions, including problems with both legs, and although it wasn't necessary to remove them both, that's what ended up happening. A statement from the hospital describes the situation as a disastrous combination of circumstances and explains that the patient's family was informed and offered psychological services and support. Details of the incident were also provided to the local prosecutor's office. If nothing else, at least the Friedstadt Clinic was transparent about what happened. The surgeon who performed the surgery voluntarily went off duty following the botched procedure. Number 1.
What?
Operating.
Wait, following what procedure? Man, no, bro. He did not say butt procedure. There's no way. Bro, look, y'all better watch it.
Friend about what happened. The surgeon who performed the surgery voluntarily went off duty following the botch procedure.
Oh, bro.
Number 1.
Watch it.
Operating tools left inside patient. California resident Mary Harbour went to the hospital in 2017 to have a benign tumor removed from her abdomen. After she went home, she continued to experience severe back, kidney, and abdominal pain. When it hadn't subsided nearly 2 weeks later, Harbour knew something wasn't right, so she went to the emergency room. During the exploratory procedure, the team had accidentally left an 8-inch pair of surgical forceps inside the patient. Doctors removed 18 inches of her small intestine, which had looped around the handle of the instrument. Harbour sued the Shasta Regional Medical Center for medical negligence, alleging that defendant Dr. Richard Mooney had a responsibility to remove the forceps from her body and failed to do so. At the time, the patient was still recovering from her procedures, and while she was doing okay, the lawsuit argued that she would need further medical care. Her lawyer, Michelle Jenny, told the press that negotiations with the hospital over a settlement were ongoing. Speaking with local station King 5, Stanford Law School professor Michelle Mello explained that it's fairly rare for medical instruments to be left inside of patients, but it does happen, she conceded, and the estimates on how often it occurs vary. According to one study, there were about 1,500 cases of objects being left in patients out of 28.4 million inpatient surgeries performed in the US annually. While it's true that this is an extremely low number, it's still terrifying to realize that it's even a slight possibility. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about bizarre hospital mistakes,
them last 2 videos, that did it, dog. That did it, man. Like, you operating on the wrong section of somebody's body part, dude. I mean, you got the paperwork. If you confused with your left and your right, turn the same way as them. Left, right, and yeah, all right, this side. I mean, it ain't that hard, bro. It ain't that hard, man. Mixing up medicines and all this, man. Look, and that's the second to last one with the dude that went to the butt surgery. Ladies, if y'all see him, go the other way. Please go the other way, bro. But man, look, hey, it just give you an idea of what's really be going on and what you don't hear about. Like, it's a lot of things that we don't hear about, bro. We only hear about things that they say that matters. So, hey, but look, y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what other ones y'all want to see me react to, bro, because I would like to do more of these, because like I said, there's a lot of things we don't hear about, man. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all want to see, man. Don't forget to hit that like button on y'all way out. This your boy Vlogging with Greg, baby. Out.